Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Thursday edition of Biz Talks. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International. My privilege to be able to be the host for this evening. I'm very excited about tonight. I'm always excited when I get a chance to share some information about our company, what we're doing, where we're going. But in particular tonight, because I get to introduce you to a couple of my favorite people within the company. But before I get to that, let me go ahead and kind of get us started officially. This evening, we're going to be sharing some information, a little bit about our company, Zija International. We're going to talk a little bit about our products, a little bit about the income opportunity. And for those of you that were invited this evening as a guest, I want to extend a very warm welcome to you. Somebody that you know, perhaps it's a family member, maybe it's a friend or coworker, has been sharing with you a little information about Zija International. And, maybe you're one of our customers and you've started to recognize the benefits of our products and maybe looking at, the potential of our income opportunity. And so I'm going to cover a few things this evening to kind of set the stage for the beginning of your information gathering. And then I'm going to introduce you to a young couple that has really been able to transform themselves and their lives through our products and our income opportunity. And I'll kind of preface it this way. Let me frame it up like this. In today's world, in your life today, if you could have a way where you could create, let's say, more time freedom to be able to spend the time with your family and the people you care about, doing the things that you love to do. If you had an opportunity to create additional income, maybe a second income stream, maybe that's to provide a little bit better lifestyle for your family. Maybe it's to create an environment where, one of the parents can stay home and raise the kids, or maybe secure your retirement by having some additional income, or maybe just having that extra financial resources that allows you to start building in true financial security to your life. And if you could do all of those things by helping other people, would that be something you'd want to learn about? Would that be something you'd want to explore? And so what I want to do this evening is share with you just a couple of the tidbits, if you will, about why this company, Zija International, has been able to change so many people's lives. And I'll frame it up in this fashion because many years ago, we're talking well over 30 years ago, I was a cross-country truck driver. And I loved driving trucks. I really did. That was, probably the only job I ever had for more than a year at a time, to be honest with you. But I loved driving trucks, and I made good money, what I thought was good money at the time. But then something changed in my life. My older son was getting into school age. He had some special needs, and the school district wasn't going to provide the educational resources for him that he needed. They kind of wrote him off. But I knew that my son could become much more than they believed he could. And so I found myself as a much younger man in my early 30s in a need to create substantially greater income than a truck driver can make. But equally as important, I needed a way to find more time freedom in my life to be with my son as he was growing up, to be part of that process of helping him become, grow into everything that he could be. And the only place where I could find both of those things was in this profession in network marketing. And I'll be candid with you, I really knew nothing about the industry. Okay, I mean, I'd heard of Amway and Tupperware and that sort of thing, but I really knew nothing about it. And I was very fortunate that the very first person that sponsored me and in my first network marketing company back in the mid-'80s was already $1 million income earner. So I got to learn what this profession can be at a very high level. And I followed a simple system that I was exposed to many years ago. And it literally allowed me to retire in 10 years. Now, if that's all this industry had done, that would have been an amazing thing. But what it did is it gave me an environment where I knew the kinds of things that create truly great long-term companies. And several years ago, I'd gone through a process of being able to, I was retired for a number of years. I got to raise my first grandson. What a beautiful thing to be able to be financially independent, not dependent on working, to be able to do the things that one wants to do. And then a few years ago, once my boys were on their own, it was time for me to be able to move home and take care of my mom. And that's what I've done for the last 10 years. I work from home. I care for my elderly mother. She's 92 years old now. And I was introduced to this company, Zija International. And because I've had the experience in the profession to know what to look for, I saw an incredible opportunity in the making. And these were the three things I looked at. And I want you to kind of relate this to, what you would want to look for in a company. The ownership of the company, that was critical to me. That was the most important ingredient. Zija International is owned by a man by the name of Ken Brailsford. And you may not recognize his name, but you already know who Ken is. Ken is known as the father of encapsulation. He's the first person to take medicinal herbs, put them in, that we know in the gel caps that we know today, so that people could take the benefits of medicinal herbs in an easy to consume fashion. Ken's a master herbalist. In Ken's career, he has created two of the multi-decade, multi-billion-dollar companies that represent that top maybe 24 long-term companies in the history of network marketing. Ken is a billionaire in the network marketing profession. He'd gone into retirement when he was introduced to what became the foundation of our products, the Moringa oleifera tree. Now, you may have started to hear about that. Moringa is all the rage these days. It's in several different areas. It's been noted as being the superfood of 2018. Well, many years ago, I believe it was 2002, there was a documentary that aired on the Discovery Channel introducing us to what they called the miracle tree. The Moringa oleifera tree has been noted by National Institutes of Science, the NIH, National Institutes of Health. It's the U.S. government's NIH. They reported in 2008 it was the most nutrient-rich botanical that they'd ever studied. Over 5,000 botanicals they've studied. But it was still very much unheard of in the Western world. When Ken saw that documentary that aired on the Discovery Channel, in his words, he was spiritually prompted to come out of retirement to bring this product to market. And because of Ken, his integrity, his tenure in the industry, his track record of success, he attracted some of the finest young minds in the network marketing profession to create our corporate team. We are led by people who have the same passion as we do for helping people, bringing this product to market, the concept of people before profit. And because of what Ken's leadership has done over the last several years, we have grown from literally a dinky little company when I started, one single product. Today we have separate product divisions that encompass all areas of health and wellness. We've got our core nutritional products, all based on the Moringa oleifera tree. We have healthy weight management. We have personal care products, skin care, body care, hair care. We have the first to market line of clinical grade essential oils. Essential oils is a huge market space. There's two companies out there that dominate that market space. They do combined close to $2 billion a year, and they don't even come close to the quality and the purity of our clinical grade essential oils. We've got the first to market all healthy, natural sports nutrition line. If you look at the fastest growing segments of nutrition, it's sports nutrition. But when you look at the products that are out there, artificial colorants, artificial sweeteners, soy-based proteins, we have cutting-edge, science-based technology around our products. Today, we represent one of the very rare commodities in the network marketing industry. We are 100% vertically integrated. We control the plantations our raw materials are grown in. We own our own certified, NSF-certified pharmaceutical grade manufacturing facility, literally tens of thousands of square feet of manufacturing, warehouse, distribution, home office space. We are a company that today, as we speak, we are 100% debt free and have the physical capacity to create over $1 billion a year in sales of our products, yet we're just a very small percentage of that. Folks, that creates the third ingredient that I looked at. Corporate leadership, right kinds of products that people need and people want, and timing. Because when you can find a company that has this level of infrastructure, this level of corporate experience, and the capacity to grow rapidly, but you're in before the masses, this is what creates timing. This is where I was many years ago with a previous company, and literally rode that wave and was able to retire in a few short years. So if you're looking for something that could help yourself, help others, and create that kind of time freedom and financial security that so many people are looking for, then you need to explore Zija International. Now, the one thing that I think is really the most telling about a company is not the company or the products, but the people. And I want to introduce you to a couple, Brandon and Monica Cooper. I'm going to bring Brandon and Monica over here to this side of the webinar. Folks, I'm going to be bringing it over right now. I've had a chance to, oh, there you guys are. Hey, guys. Let me unmute you here real quick. Okay, there we go. How you doing?
Hey, Fred, how are you?
Hey.
You guys are looking wonderful. I was going to say lovely. Brandon, you look cool. Monica, you look lovely.
Well, thank you.
I was just about to introduce you. Brandon and Monica, I've watched Brandon and Monica mature in the last few years with our company. They've got a powerful story, but I think what's most impressed me is the commitment they have to family, okay? They represent really the concept of life unlimited, taking great products, a great opportunity, sharing with others, and being able to create something that is meaningful to them. And I asked them to join us this evening. They've become diamond distributors with us. They truly epitomize the Life Unlimited slogan we have for our company. And folks, I'm so glad that you had a chance to join us this evening. I appreciate you taking time from the boys. And Brandon, I'm glad I didn't wear my green Zija t-shirt like you're wearing, or else we'd be twinsies or something. And honestly, I almost picked up that t-shirt to wear tonight, and I decided, no, I got Monica and Brandon on. I'm gonna put on my fancy Zija shirt, right, with the collar. Listen, one of the things that I think most people, including myself many years ago when I was looking at this kind of business, most people look at the people that are involved to try and see if they could be like them. Like, could we be like you? And I wanted you to take a few minutes, maybe share a little bit about your background, your story, what's happened with you. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about, pre-Zija. What is that? Pre-Zija. Tell us about what was going on in your life, before you joined Zija.
Okay. Again, thanks for having us on, Fred. We really appreciate it. We're honored and humbled that you even asked us to be on. So we really appreciate it. It'll be coming up on almost 5 years now that we got involved in Zija. So let me take you back 7.5 years ago. All those things that you just talked about, it was such a blessing to be able to find it once we got in. In fact, our sponsor, John Morris, who was a high school baseball coach here in Louisville, Kentucky, he approached me about Zija. Well, my background is I am a former minor league umpire. I'm a current college baseball umpire in the Atlantic Coast Conference and the Southeastern Conference. So that's kind of how John knew my name. We didn't really know each other. And so when he approached me, I knew nothing about the industry, and in fact was, very skeptical, just thinking that, pyramid scheme, that's where I was. I'm like, it's too late to get in, that kind of thing. So anyway, I watched him for about 2.5 years. I guess you could say I Facebook stalked him. So in those 2.5 years, and you got to think, people make decisions on what they think they know. And what I thought that I knew was totally not the case. Once he ended up started to make a substantial six-figure salary, I had to take a look at it. And the reason, Fred, that I did was in those 2.5 years that I was, that I thought that, I had a reputation to uphold. I couldn't do something like this. That's what I was thinking. But in those 2.5 years, I got out of the minor leagues trying to find a job. Really couldn't find one where I was making, a decent income to provide for our family. Monica and I, we have 3 boys. 2 of them have autism. So with the schools and the therapies and those kind of things, that's very expensive. And we were in a place where I'm not too embarrassed to tell people. I tell people all the time, I was brokenhearted and broke in the wallet, just wasn't making ends meet. It was a bad time. And so basically, Fred, I was forced to look at Zija. And when I got in, and the only thing John really told me was you could use it to lose weight, aches and pains. People, wanted to live an active, all natural, healthy lifestyle. Some people you meet, they might want to make some money. That's all I knew. And then once I got involved, I learned all those things that you just talked about at the very beginning of this Zoom. And it's been the most incredible blessing ever.
And it's interesting because so many people come to us and it's like what you said. It's kind of like a last resort. I got no choice. Maybe I better take a look. Now, I know the products, and we've shared, you've shared your story. We've spent a lot of time talking. I know that when you got involved, you were looking at the money. You needed to make money. I know, Monica, you were probably initially not real thrilled with the idea of spending a few dollars to get some product, hoping to make money, right? Let's tell us a little bit about what was going on in your life back then.
So around the time that Zija and Brandon was kind of on board, I wasn't working. I had left my job, 7 years prior to start our family. I worked at an engineering firm in the accounting department. And when our first son came along, I was just mom. And that was the best job that I could ever have. And then when autism came along, what I saw was that the daycares weren't taking the kids. And me being at home was now not just a want, it was a necessity. And so, we've looked into a couple other things through the years. I've tried a lot of products through the years. Weight had always been an issue for me. And so when Brandon came home with all these products, the first thing, of course, I'm thinking is you spent money that we don't have. And we, as Chris Estes always says, we started with a card called Master. And, when I saw these products, he said, I don't even know what these products do. I don't know what really they're all about. He said, but I really think we owe it to ourselves to take a look. He goes, give me 30 days. Try the product for 30 days. And at the end of those 30 days, if they don't work, I'll leave you alone. And when I started looking at the product, the thing that kind of caught my eye was the weight management system. And I said, I'm going to start with that. And when it doesn't work, I'm done. I don't want to talk about it. And what I saw is, and I'm a big skeptic, so I have to see things for myself, is these products were like nothing I'd ever taken before. And much to my surprise, I started seeing amazing results within the first couple weeks. And it wasn't just weight loss, it was energy. And he even said, you have life again. And it was so hard for me at the end of those 30 days. He came to me and he said, you have to admit to me that you've seen a difference. Not only have you lost weight, he goes, you're not drinking Diet Cokes anymore. You're not going to McDonald's multiple times a week. He said, you are active with these kids. And I said, okay, this is going to be the only time you'll hear it, but you're right. I'm wrong. And at that time, it was more about belief in the product. And so that's where I kind of started with him, was believing in the product. And 5 years in, I can't imagine going a day without these products.
Yeah, that's true. Same experience. I can't go a day without my products. Now, Brandon, you were pursuing the business. You were seeing great results that Monica was having on the products. The things that the average person that's looking at us will want to know is, who are you? Are you anything like what we might be? Do you have special talent, skills? And you have a sales and marketing background? Have you made $1 million network marketing in the past? Are you keeping any secrets to us?
No, not at all. I've never really. I have a business management degree that I ended up getting once I dropped out of college actually to go to umpire school, and I spent 8 years in the minor leagues, and I made it up to AAA, and then once I got out and had a real job, I ended up going back to school. My dad had told me that I'd promised him years ago if he paid for umpire school, I'd finish college. And so I have a business management degree, and I've never made anything over $50,000 a year in a typical job.
Yep. Okay. Now, the next thing people want to know is, okay, if it sounds like maybe I could do this, what do I need to do? Maybe you can tell folks, how did you get started? What did you start with? What was your initial, activities?
Okay, well, back then I got started with I basically just asked John, hey, what do I need to do to get started? And he said, basically, most people start with the Builder Pro system. Well, I couldn't afford the Builder Pro system. I kind of wish I would have started with the Builder Premium system. I couldn't afford either one, so it really didn't matter. But I just got started where he told me to. And, you get product.
With that card called Master, right?
Yeah, it didn't matter. So I just got started with it was the Builder Pro system is what that would be today. And I just got started. I knew that when he told me what the products did and what most people use them for, I knew that I had a pretty good reputation with my umpire friends, that I at least could get them to try the product to tell me if they worked. And that's how it got started.
Now, in business, unlike our type of business, you can start with a credit card. I actually did go ahead and start with the Builder Premium system, American Express card. Thank you. And actually, I could have paid for it in cash, but I'm a businessman. You never start a business with your money, right? It's time value of money. Now,
right.
How long did it take you to recoup that initial investment and get into profit?
Okay, it not very long. I did a lot of things the wrong way, Fred. Early on, I knew nothing about nothing. At the time that I got started, the job that I had at the time, I was a state employee with probation and parole. And I told myself, once I replaced that salary, and there's a state salary, I always have my college umpiring to fall back on. Once I replaced that salary, I basically went full time with Zija. Would I do that again? Yeah, probably. It was very stressful, but I probably would do it again, honestly, Fred, because it helped me burn all boats. But I tell people all the time, 99% of people, they do this thing part time. And you talked about the system early on. And I was fortunate. I live in Louisville, Kentucky, so I was around people that were building Zija, different people coming into the market, and I just heard and I just found that, hey, we have a system to follow, and all we're doing is sharing stories. Some people's stories resonate with others, some don't. But I just tell people I can relate to a lot of people. I had no experience, no money to get started. I was very busy, with the kids and a family, and so I'm a very typical average person, so you say.
Now, Monica, you've had not only tremendous benefits from the product. Would you mind sharing with the folks how much weight you've lost?
About 70 pounds. When I married Brandon, I was about 210. So I always tell people he got to see me at my worst, or he married me at my worst. But I've grown a lot, and I've learned, not just through these products. I always tell people it's a lifestyle. So whether you're looking at the weight management system, maybe you're just wanting a little more energy, or maybe you're someone that's already working out and they just want to kind of supplement what they're already doing. You just integrate it to what you're doing. What I see now is I don't deprive myself near like I did years ago. And you can live. And that's what I love so much about these products is you're not restricting anything. And just to see what these products could do. Now, I have pushed them a little bit. I have an accident testimony. So some people come and say, you know what, I don't need to lose weight. I always say, what is your goal? Start there, and then we can help you find a product to meet that goal.
Yeah, and because of our time, because there's other things I want to get to before we can go on. Sometime I'm going to ask you to come back, maybe share a little bit more about that dramatic story from the injury you had, and how quickly you went from bedridden to walking. That's a powerful story. But in our closing minutes here, what I'd like you to do is maybe kind of frame up. We got the picture where you guys were. You had your first child, then you got the autism diagnosis, and then you were forced to be a stay-at-home mom. Although I know you'd love being a mom, but this was no longer an option. Daycares wouldn't take them. Brandon, you were struggling. You were, not making ends meet. Now, fast forward, you got 3 boys. You don't have a picture of them, do you?
Get your phone.
Hold on.
We don't have one.
I got to tell you what. The reason those boys are so good looking ain't you, Brandon.
I would agree with that, Fred.
No, they got three of the best. There they are. Oh, look at them. Oh, yeah. They got.
That's from last weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Celebrating birthday with mom.
Excellent. They got three of the best looking boys. They always have smiles on their face. Maybe you can share a little bit, because it's only been, what, 5 years. How long did it take you to become a diamond?
It took us 3.5.
3.5
years. Yep.
And folks, for those of you that maybe don't reference the ranks, that sort of thing, our single diamonds are typically 6-figure a year plus income earners. Okay, that's the median income of a diamond. Maybe you can kind of contrast a little bit. What's life like for the Coopers today, you and the children, versus back then?
Oh, absolutely. I kind of painted the picture early on of what it was like. As a man and provider of the household, when I felt like I wasn't doing my job, just what I felt about myself, the first thing I thought about, when I woke up is I'm not doing a very good job. And so when you think you're not doing a very good job, what are your actions like all day long? So it was a pretty miserable time, Fred, I was kind of beaten up a lot, with the autism diagnosis, is how I'm going to deal with that. But really, Fred, like this company, like what we've experienced through the personal development and everything, like it's totally changed my life. It's changed how I make decisions. It's changed how I parent my sons. Financially, I threw out the figure not making more than 50,000, and obviously we do a lot better than that now. And our kids, they just we pulled them out of public schools. We talked about this on text today, Fred. We pulled them out of public schools, and they go to private schools now. We've been able to put them in a position to really achieve and a position to learn. And, I'm not behind on bills. I'm actually ahead, and you feel, and things are great, and so that's our biggest, that's my biggest takeaway, or my biggest accomplishment is I feel like I'm where I need to be.
Well, and I think for me, when we kind of look at where we were, I make the joke when we, talk to people at that time when we first started Zija. There were times where we would say, do we pay the light bill or do we go to Kroger, which is our local grocery store? Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time, and for some people you may laugh hearing this, that I could go to Kroger and not take a calculator to make sure that I wasn't going over what we needed to spend. But when we really looked at our life, what was scary is, if you're a parent, having kids is scary in itself. But when you're planning for the future and you have special needs kids and financially you don't have a future for them, that was really a wake-up call for us. We had nothing. And I thought, in the event that something happened to both of us, we were going to put that burden on somebody else. So our biggest thing was setting them up for a financial future in the event something happened to Brandon and me. But we always wanted to provide opportunity. We never got into this saying, hey, you know what, we're going to go get rich. We just wanted to live comfortably, be able to provide for our kids. And so when we were working towards Diamond, our biggest goal was, let's show them something for all of our hard work. It's a sacrifice. We go to Zija events and go to corporate and different things. And so time away from them. And so we set a goal on our vision board to go to Disney World. The average person may say that's not a big deal, but I will never forget the morning they woke up and on our computer screen we had the diamond thing, and our one said, does this mean we finally get to go to Disney? And it still gives me chills, because it really showed that when you set a goal, that hard work pays off no matter what that goal is. And just being able to lock arms with people like you, Fred, is really what we needed. It was such a godsend, the company and the products and the people, and it's really put us in a much better place than where we were.
It's been absolutely part of my greatest joy of being in this company, to see folks like you and so many other people that have been able to go from where you were then to where you are today. I actually, when you were saying that, I remember seeing the pictures of the boys' smiles when they heard they were going to Disney World. And you know what? That is a dream. When you say it doesn't seem like much to a lot of people, most of this country can't afford to take their kids to Disney World. And that's really a shame. And I know what it costs. I mean, I remember what it cost back when I used to take my kid, but we went a couple times a year, right? Because we could. But hey, listen, I really appreciate you folks sharing what's been happening with you in Zija. You've done a tremendous job. You've been an inspiration to so many people. And I'm just proud to call you business partners and friends. Thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Fred.
Absolutely, Fred. Thank you very much for asking.
Yeah, you betcha. We'll see you, folks. I'm going to let you go back to the other side here. Let's see here. Folks, I have to tell you, one of the best parts about being part of Zija is the people, because they share so much of who we are, people that care about other people, want to help other people. And I think most people are like that, but frankly, in today's world, while most people would like to help family, friends, and others, most people have a hard time just helping themselves. And so, kind of wrap things up, folks, I want to, in closing, do two things, because we've shared with you a little bit about the, if you will, the company of Zija. We've got impeccable corporate leadership, highest level of experience. The owner of our company, Ken Brailsford, has done something no other person in this industry has done. He's created two of the multi-billion-dollar companies that represent about 24 companies in the history of network marketing to achieve that legacy status. He's built two of them. We've created product lines that meet genuine needs. And today, unlike when I first started, we had our, just our single moringa drink. We've got products that run the gamut, virtually everything that somebody could want. And we've got the products people are looking for. People are looking for healthy, natural, green, whether it be for in the body, on the body, in the home. But they don't know where to find it because, frankly, nobody's even heard of us. We've got the time. And really, that's the critical ingredient for today. If you can get in before the masses, when a company goes from $100 million a year to $500 million a year, that's where the fortunes are made in a company like this. And we've got the people. And Brandon and Monica tonight, they shared with you from the heart, where they were, who they are, and where they've come so far. And it's just the beginning. So in closing, I'm going to ask you to do two things, especially those of you that are invited guests. Get with the person that invited you to be part of this broadcast tonight, or maybe they directed you to the replay on the YouTube channel. Ask your questions. Learn what you need to know about the company. Learn what you need to know about the products. And if you are ready to make a change in your life, make the decision. Get involved with us. The worst thing that could possibly happen is your health's going to improve. The best thing that could happen, it could change your financial life. And for those of you that are ready to make that decision, and I encourage you to be serious about your future right now, we will be hosting a special new distributor training this Saturday morning. It'll be 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. And we will be talking specifically about what a brand new distributor needs to do to get off to a fast start, get into profit, and start to create that secondary residual income. It'll be everything you need to know to get your Zija business started. And one last shout out to Brandon and Monica. Thank you so much for getting the kids to bed early tonight so you could join us and sharing your story. With that, we're going to go ahead and let you go, folks. Get involved with our business. Get on our products. It'll change your life. And join us on Saturday morning for new distributor training. Thanks for being with us. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.